Hello everybody, and welcome to some extra info about the SOM Berthiot Tele-Cinor 3.5 and 75mm. And well, after I reassembled the lens, this fine little lens, I think, well, the inner, I thought it was okay. But the inner aperture ring, it will say where the blades actually is moving. It gets the blades to move. I think it was well, it needs some grease. So I think, okay, I will jump into it again and put an extra video about this. And it's quite easy. So if you only have aperture problems, I will say oil on the blades or so, it's quite easy. You do not have to fully disassemble the lens. So I will just show it in this video. Now, and I will of course re-grease it with some grease. In this case, the Liqui-Moly LM50. It's a Lithium Grease, which is really good in my opinion. It goes from -35 up to plus 150 degrees Celsius. So it's quite a lot. But I do not want to take out the blades and put them back in again. It will take some time. You can see it in the other video. But so I think, okay, off the lens, the front lens here, take out the aperture assembly and stop down the aperture a little and put this in the middle of the, in the hole where the aperture blades is a circular hole, and simply pressing down on the blades. And then I can take out the inner aperture ring. It was, yeah. It was my intention, so let's see how it will go. I think it will be not that hard. Remember, there is a steel ball something, if it's set to 3.5, there is a steel ball something around here, underneath, as I remember. There is also a little steel ball and a little flat leaf spring, which when you take out the aperture ring, well, it could fly away, and yeah, of course you know what's happened. Is anybody have another steel ball or spring? Well, we see. Well, so I will begin with take off the focusing ring, and of course the aperture ring. We need that, and it's done with a 1.2mm flathead screwdriver like this. Nothing special, but just you do not need to fully unscrew them, just loosen them a few turns so it's that sticks out maybe 0.5 millimeter or so. And remember, set it to infinity, just so we know that. There, and the last one here. That's it. Then we should be able to pull it apart. Nothing special about that, but as I mentioned in the other video, it's good to set a infinity mark here and a near end mark. If you set it all the way to near end, it's good to set some mark here. It's not really the problem here, because we'll work with the aperture ring, and for that I need to yeah, I will let it stay on near end. It's better, so I have some more space to work on. Now let it stay on 3.5 aperture, and simply unscrew the, loosen the 3 screws. Just a few turns, and before you do anything, it's good to actually, I think I remember in the first video, but well, it's good to actually with a sharp pointy tool set a mark here. This is because you know the exact position of when it's set to 3.5. You simply set a mark, scribe a mark here on both the brass aperture ring here, and also the aluminium ring, so it has to be in line with each other. Of course, I have already done it here, so it's not necessary for me, but just to mention that, because when you put it back in again, you will know the exact position of the inner in line with the outer ring. So let's get it off. Shouldn't take long, and it was just because I think it was a bit too stiff. So we have the index mark here, and so I simply pull it off. That's it. Now, before we continue, oh yeah, just to forgot. Okay, we do it again. We do it again, just to mention that. Where is it? Number here. Just so we have everything's in the process. Where did it go? Something like there. So now, when the aperture ring is set to 3.5, as I mentioned, the spring, the leaf spring underneath here, and the little steel ball, you gently pull it apart so you can see the steel, no, I mean the leaf spring here, and you press it down and then pull off the aperture ring, and then you have a better control of what's going on here. So we can simply take it out, and also the little steel ball, and it will be even better if we just use a magnetized screwdriver so to lift it out. It's a lot easier than fiddle with the tweezer. So now here comes I was actually thinking of, okay, should I just fully unscrew it? No, it's not really necessary, but I need to unscrew the little pin, connection pin, that goes into the inner aperture ring that moves the blades. And I also need to take out the stop screw, which prevent the aperture ring from moving any further than 3.5. And so we'll just take out the long, I don't know if it's a set screw or it's just a long screw. Then take it out. Have a good grip on it. See, it's tiny. So, and then since we know where things should sit, we can, if you by accident turning the aperture, the brass ring here, way too much, we could also measure. I already done that, so it should be something like 30.63. It will say from the very front here until the back here, just so you know the exact position. If you by accident actually turn it too much, okay, you have to turn it back again. How will that go? And should it sit correct? Hope it makes sense. But there is no repair manual for this lens, so well, how do you I mean, how should we actually think of that? There's no one to ask about that. So the point is, of course, I have to take out the front lens element, which I can do now, so I will continue with that. I need a a lens compass tool, whatever you have, and have a good grip. Then turn it, and then I should be able to turn it with the number 2 rubber tool, the cone here. I should be able, and then when it's out I can just let the lens element, front lens screw, also come out. So there, oh. So, and then, as you might remember, I would think the lens element has to sit correct. So that's why I actually set a small mark here in line with the index mark here. So I know the exact position. So when it's done, I can just use my lens sucker to simply get the lens element out. Not that hard. And I was actually surprised how good it actually has been after the cleaning, because then I took a picture of the result, and I was, yeah, you will see in the in the other video. Now, since I need to take out the aperture assembly but not the back lens group, I could press it out here, but it sits quite good, so there is no need for disassemble too much. So that's why I found out I could just turn the brass aperture ring here just slightly. I mean, it stays here where the stop screw is, and if I turn it a little, you'll see the little set screw. That little set screw is actually holding the aperture assembly in place, and then it will make it a lot easier to put in after. So I can just unscrew. I mean, I think it will be better to, no, I just need to unscrew it so it will not disappear. It would be a mess if it's gone. Well, maybe I can find another one. So now the aperture assembly is free, and then with some dentist tool, it's good to work with dentist tool, absolutely. I would think I can just dig down and lift it out. It should not sit that hard, so I think we would try it. Sorry, of course. I need to also take out the retaining ring. Yeah, blah. How stupid. It's actually take quite a lot to make a video like this, because all the details you have to just like making a script. And working with two cameras, the one just above me, and the other, the stereo camera, is also on at the same time. So they are recording the exact same thing, but with a different view. And I think just because I like to make a different videos, because I think it could be interesting to make some more of that stuff for kind of educational purpose. So now out with the ring, and then of course then I should be able to take it out. Now remember the little set screw here, because the aperture assembly also have a little gap. So here we are, and then it's out. So, And the thing is, it's not that part here that I need to loop. No. It would be way too easy. It's actually in here where the ring, the moving ring here, goes against the inner of the of this part here. So what I was thinking of, just to not make too much work for myself, I will simply close the aperture a little, but not more than the bolt here can go through the hole in the middle. So maybe I have to open the aperture a little more. Would be something like that. And of course then I need a rubber tool just to make things easier. So, and then I can put it on because I need a hole in here. Then I can put it on in that way and take out the circular spring here, and in that way, hopefully, I just have to remember where it sits. So better set a mark here. Just a mark here. Doesn't matter, because then I know the exact position of the hole here, the screw hole, for the connection pin. And then I should be able to take out the little spring here. And the ring, of course. So now it should be possible to lift it out without the blades, of course. Hopefully. And we need some dentist tool, I think. Okay. Okay, I have to take it out here. Yeah. I think what I'm gonna do is two sharp pointed. So I have one with the little hole and the other with the other side. Where's that bloody hole? Oh, here it is. Is it? Yeah. Must be that. So here we are. And then I should be able to, without lifting out the blades. Wow. Not that easy. But I need to give it some grease. Whew. Yeah. No, not the blades. Come on. It's not that hard. Really hard to do. Okay, where is my... So I think I would be able to use this. Yeah, here we are. So, and the plate still sits in its place. So the only thing I need to do just to check if there is any mark, and it looks absolutely fine. Yeah, no damage. So with a, whew, it was exciting. Now, just a little lithium grease, and just add a little. Doesn't have to be very much. Maybe it's way too much. So just have to be a thin film of grease. So here we are. Yeah, I think it's okay. And then I have my mark, which I set. Yeah. And it should come down over here. So well, I can just put it on. I know exactly where it should sit. There. And simply lower it over. I mean, and maybe if I turn it a little, should be able to actually push it down and align the plates so they will sit in correct position. Right now they are not sitting in the correct position. There. So there. So something like that. Just need to align this plate here and this plate here. So that was actually what I should have done when I was in at first. But you see, sometimes it's not really go like you think it should be. So here we are. It's not that easy. I think it's almost there. So I should be able to put in the circular spring. Nah. Okay. It's really precise fit. So I think we're here. And then I should be able to fully open it. Yeah, here we are. So is free. Yeah, it's already much better to actually move as it should. And then I can put in the spring here. And here we are back on track with the plates. And then I should be able to really very easily move. Wow. I mean, that really works. See if everything is okay on the other side. Yeah, I think it's quite good. So I can just assemble it again. Whoa, takes a little longer than I thought it would be, but as you know, so it is. So now I need to find my little set screw hole there, and then put in the aperture assembly. So there. Yeah, and since I have a little mark down here where the set screw is, I should be able, I mean, where's my tool here? What's going on here? So here we are. Not easy, but we make it. So now I just have to find my mark here and align the aperture assembly where it should sit correct, because the little notch in here on the side of the aperture assembly, it has to sit in line with the little set screw that sits in here, and it's not all the way in. So here we are. Just have to find the little gap. See, then I found it, and then I can actually screw in the little set screw. Oh, come on, little fellow. So here we are. Nah. But not fully. I mean, it's just do not tighten it fully, because I have to screw in the retaining ring so it will sit correct. And my lens tool compass, I can then put it in. As it should there. Not fully. Sometimes they can be a little tricky to put in, because you have to fight the thread, so that's why I go back, turn it counterclockwise. Okay, here we are. So sometimes it's better with a rubber tool. Let's see how it will go. Is it correct or not? Where is it sitting? Where's the little set screw here? Yeah, I think we are fine with that. Then fully open the aperture, so, and put in the connection pin. Where did it go here? So, something like that. Is it correct into place? Maybe, maybe not. No, it's not fully aligned. Here we are. Let's see. Wow. So that was much better. I mean, that's how it should be when it's very easy to move without any problems. So that's a good, it's good butteries like. And then the bloody little screw here. So sometimes they can be a little tricky. So now we have full stop in both ends, and the aperture is actually back to work. Wow, good thing. Then yeah, I can just put in the lens element so it sits where it should. My index mark, my mark here on the lens, and then lower it into, so it sits there. Then the retaining ring, and we are almost done. So it's only the spring and the, I mean the spring and the steel ball, and then the aperture ring and the focusing ring at last. So now, and we can just give it a little, so now, oh, that was good, absolutely. So the aperture ring, and of course the little steel ball goes in here. Come on, little fellow, and then the spring here. So there, and then it sits at 3.5, and I can just put it on. Have a finger here up to the spring, then push it over, and in that way get it into place. Then you have to move it a little, but as long as I am not quite sure, it has to be over there, so I can push it a little over to the, just need a little more. So then I can lower it and adjust it to 3.5. Now screw in the 3. Come on, there. Not tighten them too much. And so there. Yeah. Wow. So now that's how it should be at first, of course. Yeah. But you'll see, well, then we put on the focusing ring, find the infinity mark in line with the index mark, should be there. Have a good grip on it. Tighten the 3 small set screws here, and then we are done. So how about that? A really good working focusing ring and a very light movement of the aperture, and the aperture is working. Wow. Now it's almost, almost as it was maybe 70 years ago or so. I have no idea when it was built. But that was all for me in this extra info. Yeah, see you sooner.